GB News started out as a legit voice about certain silenced concerns of the marginalised parts of the British indigenous population, but has now turned into an evil, racist, manipulative, deceptive, antichrist propaganda by some tragic souls who choose no means to possibly obtain whatever benefits they may be getting behind the scenes from those who obsessively want to destroy the British society, Britain and Christianity for their own gain and agenda, which is fundamentally against the very people GB News, I believe, feigns to be protecting. While sociopaths exist in every single corner of the society, in every single ethnicity, and the fear of being branded racist may have to an extent played a role in Sara's death, it is family courts who gave the monster father child custody, having apparently refused to take on board the horrific domestic abuse and violence perpetrated by him over the years. Similar has happened to dozens of thousands of abused mothers and children in Britain and millions around the Western world, including to myself and my then toddler son in the UK, in courts that are almost entirely led by Jewish and Christian judges of those heritages, but obviously the worst of atheists, who have happily watched the atrocities happen for 60 years and more, and done absolutely nothing but encourage them to perpetuate. Children, even babies, have been removed from devoted mothers and given to batterers, some of whom killed them, to seriously negligent fathers who then dumped them on strangers, often their lovers, to bring them up. And some, including babies, have been raped by convicted paedophile fathers who got custody, fathers who literally raped them to death, causing them anal prolapses and damaged bowels. And no legal professionals have been brought to justice. Thousands of the mothers have consequently committed suicide, and their bereft families are gagged. GB News never mentions the top judges who cause all this. It is because this is not about child protection, as all children need protection. They have known about all this since the day of their inception. And have you ever heard them raise their concerns? No. Can it be, let's ask, as those orchestrating the family court atrocities and the destruction of the society through them? And maybe even cause wars and oceans of refugees supposedly for oil and global domination, according to hundreds of academics and journalists on YouTube. And love causing all this animosity, maybe even behind the very existence of the GB News and the likes. And thus maybe dragging people who do not read and do their research elsewhere towards the Satan's pits of hell with them, as this seems to be spiritual warfare. I don't know, but to me, all this incessant lying tallies with the Satanism of family courts. People have to start waking up and realizing that they are being misled, as Christ is love, the light, the truth, and justice. God is much bigger than blind patriotism, and Satan is the king of lies and deception. Stop exploiting the death of this poor little girl and the minds of those who choose to remain ignorant for your nefarious agenda.
Occupational therapist went to the home, saw this child swaddled in a hijab in the middle of summer, and later admitted she said nothing because she was, quote, reticent for fear of causing offence. Schools took the family's word for it. Social services nodded along. Neighbours heard screams night after night and did nothing because, in their own words, they were explicitly clear about this, that they were terrified of being labelled racist.
Just like various professionals and even victims of domestic abuse are not allowed to talk about the abuse within families where the abuser has applied for child custody, as it is bad-mouthing the father who must be worshipped. It happened to me. And the judges were Jewish and Christian. And the victim children are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, etc. And GB News have known about it very well and kept quiet.
Sara could have been saved, but she wasn't. Because an entire system, teachers, social workers, police, neighbours, had been told over and over again that to question anything happening behind the doors of an ethnic minority household in itself might be racism.